Welcome to part 5 in React series. Today I'm going to be going over React Router. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use the Create React App boilerplate, and we're also going to use React Router DOM to route our UI in our application. And this is the versions that I'm using right here. For the routing components, there are four main components that we're going to look at. The first one is being a browser router, which is going to enable us using the history API from HTML5 to keep our UI in sync with our URL. And if you want to use React Native instead for a mobile application, you can do that as well. But since we're doing a web app, we're going to use browser router. And the switch basically renders the first child route or redirect that matches the location. So we'll have a list of routes that I'm going to show, and the switch basically picks the first one that it matches to. And the route is one of the most important parts in the routing in general, is that it basically connects your component, your UI, to a specific path, specific URL. And the nav link is a special kind of link that will add styling to it when the URL is matched. So basically that lets us to implement styling to our navigation, as you're going to see in a little bit. Okay, let's move to and for the demo, we'll just have 3 dummy pages, a nav bar, navigation component, and I would highly suggest going over and reading the official documentation, and I'll also the final project I already uploaded to GitHub, so you can access it and follow along and play around with it. Okay, now let's move to our project in VS Code. And as you can see, I'm just running a boilerplate with a very simple message saying hello. This is how the app.js looks like. And I have 3 dummy pages that basically render H2 element saying home, contact, or shop page, and I don't have anything else. So first we're gonna go ahead to our index.js and import browser router, and we're gonna rename it as router to make it easier, and it's a convention as well to rename it. And we're gonna wrap our app, which is our basically the main point, the main entry, with the router. So we can implement the history API as well as route our application. So that is the first step, to basically wrap your main entry point. And in the next step, let's go ahead and import our components from React Router DOM, and we're gonna need a switch and a route. And route. Okay, let's just remove our dummy variable and let's go ahead and implement our switch. Basically, in this step, we're going to establish our routes and connect them to appropriate components based on the URL. Okay, switch, and within the switch, we're going to say route, and we're going to list our routes. So first is the home page. So we're going to use exact path to match the slash only, and we're going to call our home component. And as you can see, I've already imported them from pages. Let's go ahead and copy this 2 more times. We actually don't need exact anymore since we already have it for our home component. And for the second one, we're gonna route to, let's say we're gonna route to shop and contact. And let's go ahead and import the shop and contact. Or there is a different way, which is you can declare the link between your component and the path by declaring component and putting the contact here. So there's like a couple ways to do it. But for the version 5, I think this is the recommended way to do it. Okay, right now we have the switch declared. And then let's go ahead and create our navigation. So I have an empty components folder. Let's go ahead and create our navigation. I'd like to keep them separate, pages and components. It just makes it much easier. And for the navigation, we're gonna use class component. Let's say, yeah, class component. Navigation. Okay, we need several things. First, we have to import our navlink from React Router DOM, and we're basically gonna make a very simple navigation bar that we're gonna put on our page for demonstration. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a div. Oh, actually we have a div already, so actually I'm gonna rename it to unordered list. Okay, and we're gonna give class name of, this one is nav container. And as I said, in the GitHub repo, I have the DCSS file as well that applies the styling, so you can follow along. And we're basically gonna have 3 list items. Let's go ahead and copy these for our 3 pages that we have, and that's where we're gonna implement the navlink. So navlink, you can think of it as an anchor tag, but instead of href, we're gonna use the property 2. So in this case, we're gonna route it to home, and also don't forget to make it exact as well to match the styling, which is the pages on. And okay, let's name it home. Let's name it home. And let's copy these 2 more times. Not gonna need exact anymore. And this one's gonna be /shop and /contact. Okay. So shop and contact. Okay, let's save that and let's go to our app. As you can see, we still have the same page, but with a shop, so our routing is actually working. So if we go to contact, it's going to show us the contacts page, but now we're going to implement our navigation bar, which is going to be on the top. Okay, let's go ahead and import our navigation bar. So import nav from, let's go to components /navigation, and we're just gonna pop it in the top. And it's compiling. Okay, here we go. So we just need to establish the connection, but as you can see, the contact is highlighted in different color. That's because of the navlink. So navlink actually adds another class called active, which you can utilize in your CSS file and give it to like a different dimension, different background color to make it selected, to seem it selected. Okay. Let's just go ahead and look at our styling. Well, actually, we need to add a class name to our links. That's why they weren't styled. And the class name will be nav item. Okay. Okay, it's compiling. And as you can see now, we have a navigation page. Now we're currently on contact. If we go to the shop, it displays it renders the shop. And from the home page, it renders the home page. And as you can see, the browser actually is not refreshing when we move from page to page. That's where the sharpness of React comes in. And that's how we can implement React Router. Thank you for watching, and as I said, I will leave all the details in the description. The code that I used, the GitHub repo, and the documentation, which I highly recommend you guys read through. And if you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comments. I'll make sure to check them out and answer them, and maybe I'll make a video out of them. I don't know, but yeah. Thanks for watching and happy coding.